How do you run long speaker cable lengths? This question comes from Lawrence in Macomb, Michigan. Hi, Paul. Due to retirement condo downsizing, sounds like a communicable disease, I now have to put all the AV electronics into a large closet. In doing so, I now have to place my speakers in another room, and I can't run speaker cables across the floor. So now I have to run them through the basement ceiling with lengths of 50 to 60 feet in total in-wall mounted jacks. Then I have 10 feet lengths of Kimber and Nordost, maybe they're two different companies. They're braided cables from the wall jacks to the speakers. The Magnaplanar speaker's impedance is 4 ohms. The Audio Research amplifier is rated at 160 watts into 4 ohms. The big question is, what's the best gauge cable and or type of cable to use for such a long run? Thanks for your time and all the great videos. You are welcome, Lawrence. And it sounds like you have a cool system. A set of Magnapan speakers and an Audio Research rig. It's going to be good sound. I like it. If it were me, I would probably run, I know this is going to be heresy, going to get everybody like, hair on fire. I'd run Romex. Yeah. I don't think I would go out and, if you have all the money in the world coming out your yin-yang, then, call Ray Kimber, call up AudioQuest, go get you, they'll make you a 50-foot pair of speaker cables. No worries. And run that, and then I would use like Smurf tubing. Are you familiar with Smurf? So Smurf tubing is this, you can get it at Home Depot. It's this flexible plastic tubing, and you put that in, and then you can snake through your wires. And that's the best, because then you don't get it snagged, and I've done that before. In our old music room across the street, we used Smurf tubing, and we ran some very expensive long interconnects through the walls. But you're going to run long speaker cables, which it's a little unfortunate in that I'd rather see you run long balanced interconnects instead, and then have the amplifier at the speakers. But given the specifics of your question, and you want to run long speaker cables, then either if you have a lot of money and it's going to cost you a dear arm and a leg to do that, go with one of those companies. But if it were me, and if I was using a sane budget, or I had a bigger budget and I wanted to, buy something else for the system, buy a power plant, put something in that's really going to improve the way the system sounds, and then spend your money not on 50, 60 feet worth of expensive power cables, which can run $100 a foot. Use Romex. So I have successfully taken 12 gauge Romex, and only Home Depot's finest will do. Take 12 gauge Romex. Of course, you don't need shielding, because we're not going to worry about shielding in a long run like that of speaker cable. And run that through from point to point. Then run the rest of your cables. And I think you're going to be pretty pleased with the way that sounds, because what you don't want is a bunch of inductance. You don't want any kind of loss due to DC resistance, impedance in the line, and 10 gauge Romex, it's going to work out pretty well. The only thing you might suffer is a bit on the high end, on the upper ranges, because while Romex is phenomenal on bass and mid-range, it can roll off the top a little bit. But look, if you run 50 feet of anything, it's not perfect, and you're going to sacrifice something. So Magnapans are pretty forgiving, and that's what I do. So hope that helps. Good luck with your retirement and your project. Sounds like it ought to be fun. Let us know. Drop us a line. Maybe we'll do the guys in Car Talk used to be, they gave this great advice, and then people would write back in and said, all right, sucker, I took your advice, and here's what happened. Maybe we should start doing that. I think we should. So if any of you get my advice and you use it, write me back at some point. Just let me know. Maybe we'll do an episode on that and just, here's what Paul recommended. It's totally wrong, but let us know. And do use the Smurf tubing, because whatever you wind up with, if you're not happy with it, you've lost $50 in Romex, and you can then pull the other stuff. But once you don't run Smurf tubing, you're gonna be hard pressed to replace it. All right. Good luck. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.